Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I had to take a couple of days to put my brain straight. I know, big surprise, the guy who has mental health issues dealing with mental health issues? Say it ain't so. But we are back. I hope you guys have been enjoying this kind of look at some of the more interesting standard arcana that don't really have a counterpart anywhere else. As I said, some of these are really unique effects that I think really exemplify what the element in question is good at, or just have particularly strong effects that you can't really find anywhere else. As far as what we're going to be doing this time, so the ones that come to mind for electricity are things like, well, the ones that really catch my attention are Radiant Knockout, Bouncing Surge, Dynamic Disarray, and Bolt Claymore. And I think I kind of want to go with Dynamic Disarray, mostly because it's a relatively newer Arcana. Its clearest point of similarity would actually be Bouncing Surge, which if I quick switch to that one and show you what Bouncing Surge is all about, and you've seen me use this before. You basically just throw a javelin and it chain lightnings. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. The one issue that I have with Bouncing Surge is that since the retro floor plan became a thing, it's really hard to control enough of the field with Bouncing Surge. But it definitely has its uses, and I would never say that it's a bad Arcana. But I think I'm going to highlight Dynamic Disarray this time around. And this is a spell that has multiple charges, and as you can see, it comes back quickly, so you can throw out like a partial charge, and hopefully that controls the field well enough. Oh, pardon me. Oh, sorry about that. But it, of course, has one of my absolute favorite properties, and that is that it's a long-range boy. And like other spells with kind of a similar shotgunning effect, even though this one is very mild, you can kind of get a little bit more done if you just spam it into an enemy's face, and then, of course, each little triangular bolt will bounce around and ricochet to other enemies. It's a lovely little spell that I think deserves a look. Now, what do we pair this with? I think we start by pairing it with Frost Feint to keep enemies distracted. Then what do we do? I think either Dragon Arc or Flame Cleaver. Is there a good one under Wind that I want to use? Maybe. So, because this is a spell that kind of straddles the line between damage and control, I think what we do is we pair it with another spell that has a similar use, in this case, Gust Volley. Then it's just a matter of what basic do we use. I think, because we've got a number of things that are good at kind of like a wide cone of damage, I think we go with Bolt Rail. And of course we will be sticking with the Hope Robe, but this is a build that could also work very well with the Tempo Robe for that high tempo playstyle. It would work well with Awe for, of course, the critical hit damage. I probably wouldn't necessarily run this under a power build, but there's nothing saying that you can't, because the base damage of Dynamic Disarray is 10 plus the shock effect. So there's no reason why you couldn't run it as power. I think for my money, what I want to do is run it with the tempo. I'm going to change my mind here. I'm going to run it with the tempo robe. And then we're going to grab ourselves a nice little damage booster. It's kind of hard to deny Jade's Jeweled Tiara since we are looking for bigger effects. And lastly... Alright, piano. Kind of skipping over the jazz soundtrack a little bit here, but that's okay. Alright, let's get our... Well, look at that. We don't even have to wait very long. Sweet! Get ourselves our free cash. But Dark Sage, it's not free. It costs 20 Chaos Gems. And I'm using my Chaos Gems for what? Plus, I'm going to get them right back throughout the run anyway. So really, what am I spending? Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. Why do I keep thinking it's under RB? I just picked it up. So hopefully you are seeing what it is that makes this spell strong. And I'm not talking about Gust Volley, even though I'm kind of relying on that a bit more for things like clearing out nitroglycerin barrels, because fuck those things. But no, I believe that I was about to say Spiral Rumblers. What the hell? But because of how quick its cooldown is, and yes, that is part of the reason why I took the Temporal Robe, is to boost that even further. But no, you don't need a specialized high-tempo build to make Dynamic Disarray work. It's just a good kind of mid-range damage / control. Like, that's the thing, it can kind of be used for either purpose. And that does mean that because it straddles the fence between two things, it's not doing either one of them, like, absolutely amazingly. But it's hardly doing either one poorly, either. And the idea that it bounces around enemies really makes it a super useful ability. Like, that's what gives it the control edge that it works well with. Then as for damage, as you've seen for yourself, it can have up to 5 projectiles, 7 once it's upgraded, and it recharges quickly with you being able to throw it out again when you have 3 ready to go. I'm kind of getting beat up here. Makes me feel a little vulnerable. Alright, I'm thinking that I don't want to focus too much more on electricity. Or wind, for that matter. Like, we could use stuff of other elements. But this is a high-tempo build. I would be pretty remiss in my duty if I didn't pick that up. Kind of rolling on the Storm Mage kind of thing here. Oops. Alright, well, you know, not my greatest performance, but I'm sure I'll make it up throughout the run, hopefully. Either that or I'll just die. And I could just die. But that wouldn't be very fun for you guys now, would it? The other thing that I really like about this spell is that it does have a decent amount of knockback. So you can just keep enemies off your balls while you're doing other things. Dark Sage, not everyone who plays this game has balls. You are taking me far too seriously right now. Oops. Okay, that room absolutely mauled me. You're leaving me in a not-so-great position. Ring of Reserves will definitely be a big bonus. And I'd better grab that just in case, because I'm not exactly playing what one would call particularly well at the moment. I love it when you reach a dead-end cul-de-sac. Isn't that the definition of a cul-de-sac? Okay, wise ass, keep it to yourself. Alright, every room is just demolishing me right now. Yeah, I know I said that I would try to make it up in the later floors, but goddamn, I can't seem to help but keep getting my shit pushed in. Maybe it falls to a subconscious desire to just get ruined for no reason. You mean you want to lose this run? That's ridiculous. It is. And I don't know why I would even think such a thing. There we go. Bouncing dynamic disarray doing what it's supposed to do. Oh, perfect. Exactly what was supposed to happen there. I got the feeling he was being sarcastic. What? Me sarcastic? Nah. Right, give me that. Alright, we'll go ahead and give you Arc Sphere because, quite frankly, I don't want it. Not for this build. It's not doing the job that I want it to do. Now, strangely enough, Breaking Twister, which is something I spotlighted just the other day, seems like it would do a fantastic job here. So 374 damage on one floor, 339 on this one. Boy, if this keeps up, I'm just gonna be ruined. I'm also noticing that I've got myself a lovely little position that I've put myself in where, or rather that the game put me in, where the enemies that I'm facing off against just completely nullify, well, not nullify, but resist the elements that I'm using. I also like that Dynamic Disarray is particularly quick, so you throw it out and the shots just have really high velocity. They get where they're going quickly, they do their damage, and then they recharge quickly. Again, working particularly well on a high tempo build. Which is kind of why I chose what I did, because it just makes sense. Grab that, and yes, it's not lost on me that I saw the Assassin's Blade, and now I'm seeing the Dark Katana. It's like, oh, you're feeling pretty silly for getting rid of that Arc Sphere now, aren't you? Not really. Thing is, Arc Sphere just kind of wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, so I feel no shame in getting rid of it. Okay, well, we are going to want to upgrade the Frost Feint. Ow. Yeah, take that. Owie. Alright, see, now things are starting to look up. No thanks. I'm sorry, did you think I actually wanted that piece of trash? I get the feeling Darksage doesn't like Permafrost Bulwark. Yeah, typical, he just doesn't understand the power. There we go. Keep up the pressure. Pump up the jams. Pump up the volume. Owie. Now, the reason why I say that Dynamic Disarray works better at mid-range rather than long-range is mostly because of the spread of the spell itself. Because on the ones that get fired out at an angle, they just kind of go wherever they want. So you want to be using it in such a way that the angle that the others get fired at doesn't completely ruin what you're trying to do. And more often than not, you're trying to get them to hit nearby enemies and then bounce and ricochet to other enemies. That doesn't mean that you can't use it at long range, of course. It just tends to work better in that more kind of like mid-range kind of ideal there. Jesus, where did they come from? The obvious answer is that room to the south that I had walked past in order to check this room. But, wow, they aggroed from a distance. Holy shit. Guys, I'm not doing so good. It feels like every room is just cooking me. I'm trying to cook, but I'm the one getting cooked. Help. Oh shit, we've done that thing where we've aggroed multiple groups of enemies and now we're in serious trouble. Okay, come on, try not to get cooked. Stay off the hook. Oh, shit. Anything good here? Well, we got the Assassin's Dagger again. Or Assassin. Oh, Assassin's Blade, not Dagger. What am I talking about? It's on sale. Let me grab it as just a little buffer zone. Alright, you're probably going to disagree with this decision, considering how I'm playing, but you know what? I think it's worth it. Okay, free Captain's Ring, even though I've only got 3 elements on me. That's not likely to change. Whatever, it's a little bit extra damage. What is it, like 8? Yeah. Oh well. Alright, we're kind of doing it now. A little bit. Just a little bit. But also, the idea that I'm coming across enemies that are highly resisting my elements is not helping. Wait, it's a good thing I've got box escape key, otherwise I'd be in even more trouble than I already am in. Hey, one of the unfortunate parts about the final stage that I'm at here is that... of course. Is that now that I'm facing off against a lot of electric enemies, now one of the strengths of the dynamic disarray is being essentially deactivated, and that is that it leaves enemies shocked. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't work when your enemies are immune to shock, so... trouble. Yes, there is definite trouble afoot here. Like, this has got to be one of the worst Arcana showcases I could possibly have done, just because of how things have worked out. But hopefully you get the idea, as well as why I like this. But I also now have to ask myself, would things have gone better if I had gone with Bolt Claymore and a power-based build? Might I have done a little bit better if I had used the Hope Robe instead? I don't know, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to any of these queries, it's just something to think about. Grab another one of my favorites. Maybe that's what I need, is just another heavy hitter. Oh, that's another thing that's actually a downside to this spell, is that once you tap that Y button, you are throwing out everything that you have available at that moment. Oh, perfect. So it's not like you get to like use some now and then hang on to some for later. You're just launching it all at once. Which again could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your situation. Don't know how much this is gonna help, but I don't necessarily watch every projectile to see if it tracks into the water cushion or not, so Oh, we finally get some more aggressive options. Jeez. Oh, this is a right fine mess I've gotten myself into. Okay, so I think we're just gonna get rid of that. Give me the glass cannon. I can see how I'm playing right now. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to make the idealist scorecard work, but here's the thing about that. Even if I can make the idealist scorecard work, I would still get more of a damage bonus from the glass cannon. So, make of that what you will. Gust Volley. Oh, it didn't kill them all. All right. Well, fortunately, the cushion flip-flops are doing everything for me that I want them to do. So now I can just focus on trying to be victorious. Back to the beginning. Okay. Nice. Dead end with nothing in it, that's very on point for me. Of course, I bring that up knowing full well that in a game like this, where you're just trying to explore to find advantages, you're gonna find every dead end. I just find it funny that that's usually what I find first and not anything more useful. Yes, there's a reason why I'm doing that. It's for use with the cushion flip-flops. Even though I love Box Escape Key, I definitely think this is the better choice right now. This is what's known as min-maxing, and also trying to be resourceful. It is a roguelite after all. And if part of doing well doesn't involve solving a puzzle, then hey, what can I tell you? You're probably not playing a roguelite, you're probably playing Vampire Survivors at that point. Dark says Vampire Survivors is a roguelite! In the loosest sense, yes. I don't know why I'm trying to come out like I'm like super negative towards Vampire Survivors. I have no problem with that game. I just prefer games that put me more in the driver's seat than the passenger seat, if you will. There we go. So, apologies if I sent mixed signals there. No, don't get me wrong, I love Vampire Survivors. And I would be remiss if I said that I didn't love that ode to Castlevania. But with the game already being kind of an ode to Castlevania, it just felt like it was almost overdoing it. It's not just an ode to Castlevania, at this point it's a goddamn ballad. But it does kind of strike a for me it's a dopamine release, especially since I've been playing the Dominus collection and specifically Dawn of Sorrow again. And it's just, it feels so good to see people actually caring about this. Because Lord knows Konami doesn't. Water cushion. Okay, a little late for the hand, don't you think? Yeah, no, this is good. I can upgrade that though. So as we near the end of the run, I'm now having to be a bit honest with myself in that maybe Dynamic Disarray isn't as good as I was making it out to be, but then again, it could also have just been a rough run, which is what I'm thinking the case is. Because you guys have seen me make really good use of Dynamic Disarray, and maybe this just wasn't the run to showcase it. Or maybe I was just playing badly. I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. Of course. Owie. Alright, I did that to myself. Okay, cool. Not bad. Not bad at all. At least that fight was. The rest of the run was... It kind of felt like I was spending the entire fight just on my back. It's like, I don't practice Sambo, don't do this to me! So, I admit that most of that run was more so complaining about my situation than talking about Dynamic Disarray. But I also feel as though Dynamic Disarray kind of does most of the talking for you with the way it bounces around between enemies, and you know, it also recharges fast while doing good damage. Like I think I was the problem there, not the spell, so I still say give Dynamic Disarray a try. It does a lot of things pretty decently. That was just a rough run for me because I haven't had a lot of practice over the last few days, and I've been struggling mentally, so, you know, take all of that into consideration. We still had a victory, it just took longer than expected. The thing about high-tempo runs is that they tend to have very high highs, but also kind of crushing lows. But that's going to be it for this one, so thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate your support and you coming and spending some of your free time here with me today. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.